Hi friends, welcome back. Let us continue the topics that we have been discussing in the last video. So here we will start with energy stored in a charged capacitor. That is what we are going to discuss today as a first topic. Energy stored in a charged capacitor. Let us consider a capacitor. Initially, it do not have any charge. Then we are connecting a battery into it and slowly we are charging it from 0 to Q. In this process, at any instant, at a particular instant, this capacitor has the charge Q prime at a particular instant. At a particular instance, the capacitor has charge Q prime and it has the potential V prime. It has the potential V prime. So from this instant to a infinitesimally small next level, that is, if you are increase the charge Q prime to dq prime, that is, we are increasing a very small fraction of charge. For that, we need to do some work. So that work done. So work done to increase the charge from Q prime to Q prime, dq prime, work done becomes dw, that is Q prime, that work done is, it is V prime into dq prime. Okay, this is the case. But from the formula triangle, Q, that is equal to CV, so we can replace V with Q by C. In that sense, this dW becomes Q by C into dq prime. Okay, fine. So here the charge is Q prime. So in that way we can denote. So this is for increasing the charge from Q prime to the next small level dq prime. Q prime plus dq prime, right? So charging a capacitor from Q prime to Q prime plus dq prime, this is the work done. This we can rewrite this. It is equation 1. Then what is the work done? Then what is the work done to charge the capacitor from 0 to Q? For that we have to integrate this entire equation dw, which is integral of Q prime by C dq prime, and this is the formula. So which we can write C is a constant. So here C is a constant that we can take out 1 by C Q prime into dq prime. This becomes 1 by C Q prime square by C. Right? And the limit is we have to increase from 0 to Q. So that here 0 to Q, here also we have to apply the limit 0 to Q. So it becomes 1 by C Q square, or you can simply write Q Q square by C as W. So that is the work done W, total work done W. But what is Q square? Q square, Q is equal to CV. Q square equal to C square V square. Therefore, Q square by C becomes C square V square by C. It becomes CV square. Okay. And here there is a 2. So that here also there is a 2C. So it becomes, what is that? 1 by 2 CV square. So that is the work done. What we have done? We have started that there is a capacitor which has the charge 0. And we are increasing from 0 to Q. For that, at any instant of time, we assume that the charge is Q prime and the potential is V prime. Fine. Now, from Q prime to, we are increasing the charge to plus dQ prime. What is the work done? That is dW, which is equal to V prime dQ prime. This is for small change in the charge. Now, if you want to calculate the total work done for charging the capacitor from 0 to Q, then you have to integrate this equation. What it will be? Integral of 0 to Q, not A, 0 to Q. So don't confuse this with Q and A, all are Q. There is no A here. Q prime by C into dQ prime. C is a constant you can take out. Q prime into dQ prime. Integral will give you Q prime square by 2. And the limit will be 0 to Q. And it will give you, the prime will go out because the upper limit is Q. So that 1 by 2C Q square. Now, Q is equal to CV, Q square equal to C square V square, Q square by C is equal to CV by CV square by C. Substitute here and you will get W equal to 1 by 2 CV square. So this W is the work done, right? This work done is stored as a potential energy in the capacitor. So energy stored, it is stored as a potential energy which is 1 by 2 CV square. Now if we discharge this capacitor, this potential energy again be converted into electrical energy which can be withdrawn back for the purpose that we have required. Right? Fine. So for securing the board, let me write this equation here itself. So U equal to 1 by 2 CV square. Well, now loss of energy, when the loss of energy on sharing of capacitors, sharing of charges between capacitors, between two capacitors. Sharing of charge between two capacitors. What is that? So that is, we are having a capacitor who has a potential V1, capacitance C1, and we are having another capacitor who has potential V2, capacitance C2. Now if we connect these two with the common wire, and there is energy flow between these two in order to get balanced. Okay, so this is, let us denote capacitor A and this is capacitor B. Now After joining this, what is the potential? Potential becomes, what is that? V equal to Q by C, that is total charge divided by total capacitance. What is the total charge? What is the formula for charge? Charge Q, that is equal to CV. So that here C1 V1 plus C2 V2 divided by total capacitance C1 plus C2, this is V. This is equation 1, you can say. And now we need to calculate the loss of energy, which means we have to calculate the energy before joining and calculate the energy after joining. So that, let us denote U1 as the total potential energy of these two capacitors which are not in contact with each other. In that case, you have to sum up the individual potential energies. So potential energy of the first capacitor, we can write it as 1 by 2. Formula for potential energy is 1 by 2 CV square. So that C1 V1 square, and the potential energy of the second capacitor is 1 by 2 C2 V2 square. If you make the sum, then you will get the potential energy before these two capacitors are in contact. And what is the potential energy when these two capacitors are in contact? In that case, when these two capacitors are joined together, then what will happen? This V1 and V2 becomes V, and we need to make the sum of these two capacitors in order to get U2. So that U2 becomes 1 by 2 C1 plus C2 into V square, right? Into V square. But we have an equation for V square, so we can substitute that. So we will get the equation for U2, that is 1 by 2 C1 plus C2, then C1 V1, this, plus C2 V2 divided by C1 plus C2, the whole square. Okay. Now what we can do that 1 by 2 C1 plus C2, C1 V1 plus C2 V2 square divided by C1 plus C2 square. Let us apply the square separately so that this will cancel out each other. What we have now, C1 V1 plus C2 V2 the whole square by C1 plus C2. Okay. This is, we can denote equation number 2. Now, if you want the loss in energy, if you want to calculate the loss of energy, then you need to calculate U2 minus U1. We have to calculate, U1 minus U2. So as we said, loss of energy, so this will be greater than this. So U1 minus U2. What is the formula for U1? U1 is 1 by 2 C1 V1 square plus 1 by 2 C2 V2 square minus 1 by 2 C1 V1 plus C2 V2 by, this is square, by C1 plus C2. Now what we can do, we can take 1 by 2, 1 by 2, 1 by 2 as common out. And if you want to take C1 plus C2 also, let us do like this. That is, let us take 1 by 2 C1 plus C2 as common out. Then what is the remaining? So here C1 plus C1 plus C2 is not there. So that what we have to put C1 plus C2, because this is not present in these two, and we can write C1 V1 square plus C2 V2 square minus C1 V1 square plus C2 V2 not square, C1 V1 plus C2 V2 the whole square. Okay, in this way it will appear. Now we can expand this. How we can expand this? 1 by 2 C1 plus C2. Now we can expand this. What is that? This C1 have to multiply it with this, then this C1 has to multiply it with this, then C2 have to multiply it with this, and this C2 has multiplied with this. So C1 square V1 square plus C1 C2 V2 square plus C1 C2 V1 square plus C2 square V2 square. Okay, and then here a plus b whole square and minus, so that a square C1 square V1 square b square, actually minus outside, let us write a plus b whole square, so that a plus b C2 square, it will be like this, C2 square V2 square plus 2ab C1 V1 C2 V2, like this. Now we introduce the minus inside, so that this all becomes minus. Okay, now if you look carefully into this equation, this will cancel because this is plus, this is minus, and this will cancel out each other. Okay, and what are the remaining thing? C1 C2 V2 square plus C1 C2 V1 square minus 2 C1 V1 C2 V2. What we can take out? C1 C2 common, C1 C2 common, C1 C2 common, so that we can take out C1 C2 divided by 2 C1 plus C2. This is common. What is remaining? We can write this one V1 square, then this is V2 square minus 2 V1 V2, a square plus b square minus 2ab, so that this becomes C1 C2 by 2 times C1 plus C2 V1 plus V2 square, right? Not V1 plus V2, this is a minus b, V1 minus V2 square. So this is what? This is nothing but, so this equation is nothing but it is nothing but u1 minus u2. Now you see in this equation, this we can denote something like, say, equation number 3. So this is the equation for loss in energy when the two capacitors are sharing their charges. Okay, see here V1 minus V2 the whole square can never be negative. It will never net negative. Why? Whatever the term inside, if you take square, it will becomes positive. So as this term can never negative, so always, due to this factor, always u2 must be less than u1. If u2 must be less than u1, then what will happen? u1 minus u2 will be less than u1. In this case, there is a loss alone, nothing beyond that. Where is this loss goes? This loss will go as a heat dissipation in the core of wire, and when you join these two capacitors, there exists a spark. This spark will dissipate some energy. So this is the loss of energy of sharing of charges between two capacitors. What is essential idea? We have considered two capacitors, one capacitor with the potential V1 and capacitance C1, another with potential V2, capacitance C2. We are calculating the total charge when these two are in contact. When these two capacitors are in contact, they will have a common potential that we can calculate using the total charge by total capacitance with this formula. Then we have calculated and we have written the equation for the potential energy when these two capacitors are not in contact. So we have done algebraic sum of the potential energy of these two capacitors individually. Then we have joined so that we have calculated the energy, potential energy after the contact. This will give us like this. Now we have expression for V that we have substituted. This V expression is substituted here. So this comes, and we have cancelled out C1 plus C2 in numerator and denominator. We have ended up with the equation U2. Now in order to calculate the loss of energy, we have subtracted U2 from U1. So this expression, what is that? U1 1 by 2 C1 plus C2. Where is U1? This one, 1 by 2 C1 V1 square plus 1 by 2 C2 V2 square minus this term. And we have done all the arithmetic calculations. We will end up here. So we need to calculate the nature, we need to estimate the nature of this energy, whether it is loss or gain. For that, this term V1 minus V2 is always positive. It will never become negative, always positive. So that what will happen? U2 will be lesser than U1, so that U1 minus U2 will always lesser than U1, so that there is a loss of energy. Okay. So that loss of energy will be dissipated as a heat, or it will be spent on the spark created when we try to join these two capacitors. So with this, the theory part of first unit is over for you guys, and we have discussed some problems in the next video. Then we will move to the another unit. So be safe. Thank you.